Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to Grizzly Bear Sim's YouTube channel, and welcome back to Lone Oak Farm. I believe this is episode number 11, but I honestly can't be held to that right now because it is early Saturday morning, and I jumped up to start an episode going here because I've got a limited amount of time today. And we've got Jack over here compacting our silage, and we're going to get on with a few other things today. I'm going to bump our time up, and this will be the last episode of this game day that we're going to do because I believe we've pretty much got everything done that we need to do. I think let's just go over here and check on our grass. I think it is still grass, even though we have tethered it. We just have to wait and be patient that seasons will kind of do its thing. And let's pull up our HUD. So yeah, this is still grass, and that's fine. So we've got a couple of fields in this more or less state, and that's okay. Everything has been tethered, and we will take a look at that tomorrow, the next game day. Let's just bring up seasons right quick and look at the old weather report. Today, we've got cloudy skies, but we've got sun tomorrow, so we should be able to make hay tomorrow while the sun shines. I hope everyone is having a wonderful, wonderful day. Um, I well, it's early Saturday, so I really don't know. Um, I really don't know what the day has in store for me today. It is Saturday, the 12th of October, and we're just going to leave this tractor and this mixing wagon along with this TMR inside the barn here. This barn doesn't leak, and so we'll just leave that here. We do need to come up and clean our cows up here, but we'll do that momentarily and most likely off camera, and we'll give them some water later as well. What we're going to do today is Jack, who is more or less our mechanic. He's a jack of all kinds. Obviously his name is Jack. And my apologies if that little message about my headset came over on the recording. I don't know if it did or if it was just in my ear. But anyway, if you didn't hear anything about talk time being 9 hours, then you don't know what's going on. But anyway, Jack is our maintenance guy. He's a jack of all trades and truly master of none. So Jack has been. This is the first time we've had this guy out for this season, and Jack has been basically going through it. We had the oil changed, all the fluids checked. We also had some of these spray tips here that were a bit buggered up that Jack had to replace or clean out, unclog, all kinds of stuff, and did some other maintenance on it as well. So it's looking good. It's looking good for the season. As a matter of fact, he's also, as soon as he gets done compacting that silage, Billy Bob is off right now. He is off running around someplace doing something crazy, I'm sure. But as soon as Jack gets done compacting that silage, he needs to start working on the 8RT, getting it ready to go so that it can pull this row crop seeder, because hopefully very, very soon our soil temperature will rise up to that magic 50 degrees where we can start putting our corn in the ground, because that is obviously the very next thing that we need to do. So I had sprayed off camera. I had sprayed this field. Oh, he looks so sad. Hang on just a second, ladies and gentlemen. Let's let that engine on that John Deere sprayer warm up a little bit. I'm going to come over here and give our dog some food. There you go, buddy. There you go. All right, you be good today. All right, he's a good dog. All right, so we're gonna find our way back up in here into this tractor. I think the steps over here. Here we go. All right, so back up, get the parking brake off. So what I was saying is this field over here, our first grass field that we cut for silage purposes. And by the way, we've got more than enough silage to get us through this year and into next spring. So we'll be fine there. But this field I've already fertilized. Let's just bring up our map and go to our map here and take a look at this. We need to change this over here to growth. That still bugs me. That still bugs me. Let's see, fertilized. So yeah, so well, it says needs plowing, but we're not going to plow that. So it's at its second stage of fertilizer. We'll try to put another stage of fertilizer on it when it hits its next growth cycle, so that we can take advantage of a little bit more grass yield, depending on whatever we do with that. And like I said before, we may buy or rent, lease some equipment that we can just bale that grass up and then wrap it and let that ferment into silage. We could do that, and that would be our at least our starting point for next year. We'll just have to kind of see how it goes, but I don't think that we will. I don't think that we will make any more silage in the bunker, because I don't think that we will use that silage that's in there. And to be quite honest, I don't think we have really a place. We don't really have a place for it. We don't have a place to store it, so it just needs to stay in the bunker. I had sort of thought about, in my mind, as we kind of get going spraying here, in my mind I had thought about, well, since I don't use that manure bunker, we could clean it out really well. Get Jack or Billy Bob in there with a pressure washer and clean it out. It's got a concrete floor in it, and we could clean that thing out and basically use that as a silage bunker or as a silage storage point. But a little bit of labor to do that if we were to use it as a storage point, meaning we would have to move our current stock over there, and then using it as a silage bunker. Well, I don't know exactly how much it would hold. And as I said before, we've got quite a bit of silage that we have now, and don't really. I don't think we really need any more. Let me just do our little screenshot here, because I know what'll happen. I'll get up in here, and I'll get to rattling on about stuff that we're going to do. And let's go forward, Jerry. Let's go forward, and let's grab that as a screenshot right there. That's good enough for me. So anyhow, that's kind of what is going on. That is what we're doing, and changed my mind. That's my story, and I'm sticking to it. Have absolutely nothing popping out of the ground on these fields that we have been planting, but that's okay. It takes time. It takes time, and we'll get something hopefully for sure. Let's just go back to our field condition here. Growth. We don't have anything that's showing as germination failed. Well, we've got some germination failed, right? Is that germination failed? No, that's cultivated. Let me. I need a sip of coffee here. The coffee is hot this morning, and it's good. That was cultivated, so that's that spot that I can't remember who seeded that field. It might have been me. I often blame everything on, really, Billy Bob gets the blame on most everything. Sometimes Jack, if it's pretty obvious, if I go over there and all of the silage has been obviously pushed out of the bunker and fallen back behind and whatever, then clearly that's going to be Jack's fault, because I know he's doing that job, and he's been doing that job. He took over from me about an hour ago, and so, but oftentimes a lot of this other stuff, Billy Bob kind of gets the blame, and it's just kind of the way it goes. And I'm not going to bend this boom, because then Jack will be quite upset with me, because he's got so many other tasks that he needs to do, especially in getting that getting that 8R track, John Deere tractor running, and then also finishing up the work, which is not a whole lot. It doesn't have a whole lot of work to do in getting that row crop seeder going. That thing is just almost ready to go, which is obviously that's a good thing because well, we need to get it going. We've got 7 degrees of soil temperature to go, and it's almost 60 today. It's almost 60 today, so I could see us being into that range, that 60-degree range. And of course, we could plant at 59. We could plant at 58. I'm sorry, 40. We could plant at 49. We could plant at 48. You could plant your seeds when the soil temperature is a bit lower. At least that's the way it worked in 17, and I'm sure they haven't necessarily changed it. But I honestly think it was by the grace of God that our germination didn't fail on the wheat field, especially the wheat fields that we planted early, because our neighbors, they lost some of their fields, their germination fell. Some of our neighbors did, and that's how we ended up with the extra fields, because they invested all of their money into seeds, and they planted much sooner than we did. I took a look at the Farmer's Almanac, and we started plotting our work out on the schedule, on the project list, and we basically thought that, some of these guys, we were watching our friends, our fellow farmers in the area. We were watching them starting to get their fields prepped, and there's nothing wrong with that. I mean, we have started opening our fields up and everything as soon as we felt that we could basically get a disc or a plow in the ground without any sort of major problems. And so, but they got started, they got all that done, and I'm not going to be able to split the difference there, so we'll come back up the middle. They got all that done, and then they started putting seeds in the ground, and I talked to the guys, and of course, like I said, we pay attention. We pay attention to what everyone else is doing. And Billy Bob came in one day, and he's like, Bubba over there on the other side of the 40, he's already putting seeds in the ground. And we looked at our project list, and I referenced the Farmer's Almanac again, because I'm like, okay, did we misread it? Are we now going to find ourselves late? Are we going to find ourselves sort of behind the 8 ball with getting everything done? Because at that particular time, we hadn't necessarily bit off more than we could chew, but we had a pretty good size portion on our fork that we were about to shove in our mouth. Another drink of coffee there. Thank you for allowing me to drink my coffee. Yeah, we had a pretty big chunk of meat there on our fork that we were about to shove in our mouth. But I told Billy Bob, I'm like, no, I'm gonna err on the side of caution. I know that everybody tries to jump the gun and get seeds in the ground first, because ye who get seeds in the ground first often get to pull up first at the buyer. And oftentimes, if their yield is good and everything, that they got the right dryness and all that stuff, oftentimes prices get set, and they get the top price. And that's obviously that's a good thing, but at the same time, it's a gamble. I mean, you basically are taking the dice and you're rolling them, and if they don't, if you get snake eyes, well, you get burned. Well, some of these guys rolled the dice and they got snake eyes, and they invested everything that they had. Um, what is Jack doing? What is Jack doing over there? Looks like he's stopped. Is he done? Maybe he's done. Or maybe he's stuck. Maybe he got the thing stuck and he's just thrown his hands up in the air and he's like, well, you know, that's for somebody else to figure out. He's got other things to do. Because I've been on him. I've been on him. I've been asking him what the status is. Yeah, he's got the thing stuck. I've been asking him what the status is of. Is he even done? Oh, hell, he's done. Okay, you're done, Jack. You're just. Hang on, Jack. Jack, take your foot off the. Jack. Okay. Well, you know what they say. You know what they say, right? About good help. Well, first of all, let's throw a little four-wheel drive on. I mean, I don't know. Hell, he's got this thing. He's got this thing. He's got this thing stuck up to the axles. Here we go. All right, Jack. This is how it's done, buddy. Let's get this raised up out of the way because I don't want to cause any. I don't want to cause any additional issues with the silage. So I think let's just take a look. We'll just get out of this guy. We'll go over here, take a look, and see if we're still at 100. We are. We've got 55,000. Come on, Jerry. 5,901 liters of this stuff. So I know this kind of blows the immersion a little bit because obviously I can blanket this silo in a second. But there we go. So I'll get the boys to finish wrapping all that up, throw some tires on there. Not really, but you kind of get the idea of what we're doing. Get them to get all that tidied up, and we've got our silage that is in the making. Silage is in the making. So let's go ahead and fold this up for Jack. I think Jack's feelings hurt a little bit because I think he thought he could get out of that situation, but clearly he was not going to be able to get out of that situation. So let's just take this for now, this blade, and let's just set this blade over here. I think it'll be out of the way for now. So anyway, about these other farmers and stuff, yeah, they basically rolled the dice and they got snake eyes. So we, Billy Bob, Jack, and I, obviously with my money, because it is my money. They're my employees, but they don't necessarily have a stake in this, other than if we lose out, and I don't know, there it is. If we lose out on it, then obviously, they may not have anything to do next spring if our germination and everything fails. But I told them, I'm like, no, I do not feel comfortable in going out and doing what the others are doing, because the definition of insanity, ladies and gentlemen, as you know, is doing the same thing over and over and expecting different results. So we waited. We erred on the side of caution, and before we get doing with this, because I don't want anyone to come and steal our eggs. We've got a wily fox that foxes steal the chickens, right? Snakes often get the eggs. So we erred on the side of caution as much as possible, as much as I felt comfortable in doing. And oops, I dropped it. I think they're fine. These cartons are very sturdy and almost unbreakable. So, as I said, I think I've said this sentence 3 times. We've erred on the side of caution to the extent that when we did put our seeds in the ground, even I was beginning to think, oh my God, we have just lost. We've lost our wheat. We've lost our wheat because we've got snow in the ground. But thankfully, we're okay. We're okay. We're going to be okay. I think we're okay. I mean, we won't know until because we could always have something else that comes along, right? I mean, yeah, I think we're out of the snow and frost stage, and I really think in the next game day we should start seeing something poking out of the ground. I hope, um, but in any event, what we went ahead and did to help our neighbors out, because at the end of the day, did I pull up far enough? Let's try this. At the end of the day, at the end of the day, yes, we're in competition with one another. At the end of the day, we are in competition with one another. We all, work very, very hard to try to make sure that we're getting the best, top dollar. But also, we look out for each other, and we also look out for. Come on, Betsy. Come on, honey. Come on, up a little further. This thing got a horn in it? I guess not. That's something else for Jack to take a look at. But we also we look out for each other, but we also look out for our buyers and everything as well, because if we lose a buyer, if we lose a sell point, then guess what? We have to then transport our stuff, whatever that stuff might be, whether it is wheat, whether it is our corn, which is pretty much our main, that and soybeans are our main source of income. The wheat we use to obviously produce straw for our animals, for our dairy, but and we do sell the wheat. So it is, I won't lie and say it's not a source of income, but our main source of income, what we truly run this farm on, the revenue that really goes towards keeping this place from really from bankruptcy, is the beans and the corn. And so if we lose a buyer, then we have to then transport our stuff, whatever it might be. Again, we have to transport that further away, which in return is going to cost us a lot more money. No, you're not going to come out. You can go back in there and go and poop some more, and I'll come clean that up later. So it's a gamble. It's a gamble for all of us, all the way around. It is. And let's go over here and shut this gate and try to get out of the way so the fence doesn't hit us. I've still got a bruise on my back for when that fence hit me the other day. So we're sitting about 23 minutes that I've been setting up here, yammering on about stuff. And so yeah, so that's kind of what we're facing, and we're going to see how it goes. But when we realize that our friends, and at the end of the day, that's really what it is. Again, we're in competition, but we're also friends. We're also friends, and in some ways, we're partners as well. Because again, we all are in this to try to make sure that we keep our buyers stocked with materials and all that good stuff. And I'm going to park this here, and I'm sure I'm going to have to move it 10 times between, because it'll be in the way at some point. But anyway, we're friends, and yeah, so that's kind of what the deal is. So we have things that we could do. Let's see. Let's go ahead. Let's tidy some things up. I think this is. Well, that sprayer is going to be in the way. I parked there. Who parked that sprayer there? Did Billy Bob park that sprayer there? No, I did. I can't blame everything on Billy Bob. I want to sometimes, but I really can't. I mean, the guy works very hard, and yeah, he frustrates Jack because Jack, like I said, Jack Jack is, you know, jack of all trades, master of none. But he really is. I mean, Jack does a good job keeping all of our equipment and everything in tip-top shape. If something breaks down, and it's not the result of Billy Bob running it into a tree or into a ditch or something like that, then it's down to the fact that, you know, Jack just missed something or whatever. But really and truthfully, we don't have a lot of equipment breakdowns because of the fact that Jack does a fantastic job keeping everything, basically keeping everything going, and you can't fault him for that. But so we're gonna tidy a couple of things up. I'm gonna start wrapping things up here. We're at about 26 minutes or so, and appreciate everyone stopping by. We're gonna get into the next game day. We're gonna do that for whatever the next episode is, because I think this episode is 11, but I could be wrong, and if I realize, and I will realize that when I go to edit it, because I will, of course, take the time to look on YouTube and find out because everything that I have recorded, I've edited and I've uploaded. So this is either episode 11 or it's 12, but I think it's 11. And I'll know that here momentarily. But whatever the case is, the next episode, and again, I think that's going to be 12, we'll be in a new game day. We'll be in a new game day, and we will see what we need to do. We've still got a ton. We've still got a ton of projects that we got to do. That there's no denying that. And if we can essentially find ourselves where we've got some decent soil temperatures, then guess what? We will be putting seeds in the ground. We will start with corn. We'll get our corn set, and then when time permits, then we go to beans. And let's see, where are we going to go with this guy? Let's put this guy in here with the mower and stuff, simply because we're not going to be doing any mowing anytime soon. And even though I will most likely fuss at myself, and I will think that it's Billy Bob or Jack that has essentially put the brake in front of the mowing equipment. And so when I come around here to connect to the mowing equipment to mow again, but we will actually. I think I was thinking that we were done with this, but we're not actually, are we? And I'm trying to hit the right buttons here. I'm obviously failing miserably. We're not done with the rake, actually. We need to rake. We've got to rake that grass and get that into windrows. So, but that's okay. We need to wash our equipment a little bit more frequently than what we do. Well, ladies and gentlemen, that is going to be it for this episode, whatever it is, 11, 12, 22, 108. I don't know. I don't think it's that many. I don't think I've played 108 episodes on this map. But it's still running. Who left this? There we go. All right. Well, okay. Big deep breath. Another sip of coffee. All right. Well, I need to go and shut this camera off, and I need to water the cows. And by the way, someone had commented. I believe I was kind of doing a half and half role play and half and half not role play when I made a comment a few episodes ago about the water. And they had posted a comment on the video saying that the mod is now a placeable mod. Well, and I do realize that. I knew that at the time that I made that comment, but I think I was kind of half and half in role play and not, because I do struggle to stay in role play, even though I think almost 95% of this video I've been in some state of role play. But I am aware that that is now a mod that can be placed. However, I'm of the understanding that this map has that feature built into it already, but because there's an issue, and this I could be wrong about, but because there's an issue with the ground texture being higher or lower or something or another. Hey, Jenny, um, that we can't see it. We can't see the thing to activate it. So so I was under the understanding that GTX was working on a fix for that was going to fix that issue. But I was under the understanding that this map has that feature on it. And the reason why I was under the understanding of that, and I've actually not done this, but let's do this together because someone had told me that it was, or I'd heard that it was visible. Let's visit the sheep pasture and see if that is true. That they said it was visible either at the sheep or the horses or something or another. So let's just that's water, but I don't see the thing. I think there's supposed to be like an icon. I could just be completely crazy, and if I am, then hey, that explains a lot, and I will my my wife will most likely agree with you that I'm just absolutely crazy. Yeah. So I'm not crazy. So here's the stuff. See, I've not done anything to this mod. This was a feature on this map when you launched it. It's visible at the horses, but if we come over here and we go back to our cows and we visit, um, and we climb the fence and we climb that fence and we come over here, move Diane. It's not visible. It's nowhere. It's nowhere in the field. Um, who left this gate open? Is this a gate that we can close? No, maybe not. Anyway, it's nowhere visible. I don't see it. Am I blind? But as I said, I was under the impression actually Duckzorly was the one that had mentioned it on one of his videos and had mentioned, and this has been several weeks ago, so maybe I've missed the update. I will go and investigate that after I get done yammering on here. But Duckzorly had mentioned this on one of his videos and had mentioned that there's something about the way that OxygenDavid does his maps, and so GTX was going to make a change to the mod and publish that, and it would be on Giants Mod Hub, and that would fix that problem. So that's the deal. Anyway, ladies and gentlemen, 33 minutes. I don't like to go over 30 minutes, but I felt that I wanted to clarify myself there. This episode has been a lot of fun. I've enjoyed this gameplay, and as I have all of them, but especially this one. This has been a fun episode. I've enjoyed bringing it to you. You will see this episode on Wednesday. I don't know what the date is for Wednesday, but it will be Wednesday. It'll be the Wednesday after the 12th. Again, whatever date that is, maybe it's like the 15th or 16th. Again, I don't know. I don't have a calendar in front of me, but that's what I'm thinking. And yeah, so we should. I mean, it shouldn't be very long. Diesel, no smoking, no open flames. Okay. Um, it should not be very long before we are able to start seeding again, and I'm hoping, praying actually, that our crops, our wheat and our canola that we've put in the ground, will come up strong and everything. So anyway, ladies and gentlemen, thank you all so much for watching. I do appreciate you guys taking the time out of your day, because I know there's a lot of videos that you guys enjoy watching, as do I. But I appreciate you taking the time to spend that little bit of time with me. And And even if you're watching them in fast forward and my voice is real squeaky and high, sounding like a mouse, I appreciate that. I appreciate the time that we spend together. I appreciate the time that we spend together over on Discord and such, because this is a wonderful community, and I've made so many wonderful, awesome friends. And well, I think I'm going to shed a tear now. No, seriously, I mean about the friendship and everything. I do mean that. But hey, I gotta go. My coffee mug is empty, and I need to put some more in there. And I don't know. Maybe I'll sleep and go into the next game day and see what fun awaits, and maybe do a back-to-back episode. First, I need to find out what episode number this really is, though, because I don't want to have to go through that whole. Well, I think this is episode number 12, because the previous episode that I had no idea of what episode that was, I called that 11 during the entire episode, but it really could have been 12. So this could be 13. Or really it could be 23. I don't know. No, it's either 11 or 12 or something like that. But anyway, have a good day. Take good care of yourself. Also, take good care of each other. God bless you all. Enjoy the time that you spend on your virtual farms, and come back and see me right here on Lone Oak when you have some time. Bye bye for now.